both of us. So we'll try to make it very short in the boring stuff. V's presentation is a bit more interesting. So my name is Adrian, and today I'm representing two organizations. One is Galaxy Ventures, and the other is Sokoshan. Let me give you a quick introduction about myself. I was born in Malaysia. I grew up in Singapore, and I've been in Thailand for the last 15 years. So I'm very familiar with the ASEAN environment. Fortunately or unfortunately, I've been in the digital space for 20 over years. So that means I'm 48 years old, by the way. And I've worked in 7 startups, I've started 7 businesses, and I've done this across 3 countries. When I started, there was no such thing as startup. I was a .com. Anybody remember the .com days? Pre-2000, right? .com. So we did stuff, we built websites, we did mobile loyalty, and now we do some logistics and e-commerce. So basically sharing that we have gone through many different stuff. And in business and in starting up businesses, failing is not bad. Failing is good. Failing fast is even better. So, okay, right now, as Galaxy Ventures, we are an investor. So being involved in starting businesses for the last 20 over years, so now I put myself on the side of being an investor as well. And we invest from our balance sheet. So we're a corporate investor. We don't have a fund, right, from third parties. We're using our own money to invest. So Galaxy Ventures is part of a game company called Ini3, which is part of SoftBank Ventures Korea. Okay? We act as a builder and investor in innovative technologies and also as a partner to our portfolio companies. Our view, or basically actually our portfolio, introduction to our portfolio. We look at e-commerce as a very important and critical sector. And if you were here for the last 2 days, yesterday and today, you will hear that a lot of people keep mentioning the word e-commerce. So we see that e-commerce is one of the most consistently funded sector over the last 2 years. And we continue to see that it's going to be a flavor of the month, or flavor of the year, or even for a few more years. We believe that for e-commerce to grow, you will need a very good, strong back-end, right? Back-end systems, back-end facilities, back-end services. So that is our philosophy, and that's where we have put our money behind as well. So I'll introduce you to some of our portfolio companies. So one of the companies that we invested in about 3 years ago, it's called Page 365. If you're in Thailand, and you're selling online, you probably use this service. They help online sellers in Facebook to manage their orders, manage their customers, do some payment, and also some shipping management. Social commerce is big in this region. It's not just a Thai phenomenon. Social commerce is also something that happens in Malaysia, happens in Indonesia, and in Vietnam. So some of these services can expand into those regions as well. Another company that we put our money behind, together with Mamiao, she's one of the investors from 500 Tuk-Tuks, we invested in Skuta. Skuta is not a delivery company per se, it is a messenger on demand company, where you can actually use an app and book a guy on a motorbike. He can go and pick up a check for you, he can take that check and put it into a bank for you, or you can collect a receipt, issue an invoice, and things like that. So it's a tool for SMEs, all right? But a bit of e-commerce involved as well. Commercy is another company that we invested in, and Commercy is a single platform that enables you to empower your physical store with a retail POS, as well as your web store with a web storefront, right? So if you're a physical shop and you want to sell online, you use one system, it handles both parts for you. Not last actually. So X-commerce is one of our latest. So we have found that there are many sellers who want to sell on different platforms meaning on different marketplaces, on Lazada, on Shopee, JD, 11th Street, Tokopedia. whatever you have there. People want to sell because as a seller, they want to make the most money, right? So they want to sell on all channels. And selling on all channels, it means very difficult in managing your products, managing your orders. So we created X-commerce to enable you to have one screen where you'll see all your orders and products from one place, regardless of where you're selling, right? And of course, a bit more focus on Soko-chan. So aside from investing, I also help to run this business. So Soko-chan is a fulfillment company. I think the word fulfillment came up in Song's presentation earlier. Fulfillment is a service provider where we actually store your products, we pack your products whenever there's an order, and we help to ship. All right, so we're in Thailand now, and we target social sellers initially. Today we have a 1,200 square meter warehouse. This warehouse has 200 over sellers. All their products are in the warehouse. Our system is linked to Lazada and Shopee. If you sell on those sites, orders come in automatically. We also have Thailand Post and Carrier Express inside our warehouse to take care of your products that make ship them much faster. Aside from operating the service of fulfillment, we also have fine-tuned our software, and we now offer our order management and warehouse management software to third parties. So we have those pictures on your top right. It's not our warehouse, it's our customer's warehouse. They use our system in their warehouse to manage their orders. Right now we are doing probably about 5,000 orders across 3 locations. 3 locations meaning our own warehouse and across 2 more of our customers' warehouse. Recently we got investment from a 16-year-old logistics company. They don't do anything on e-commerce. They are more traditional logistics. They are listed in the stock exchange. They invested in us probably because we have the missing piece. They do B2B, we can do B2C, and we can complete the picture. This is an example of collaboration between established businesses and younger startup companies. So our journey as a startup, we started in October 2014. We rented a 100 square meter room, and in the room there were already shelves. We were ready to pay extra rent for that because we didn't want to invest in the shelves. So we wanted to test our model. I call this the validation stage, right? So we only had 1 merchant. Very quickly, 6 months, we had to move to a big space because the demand was there from the market. We had 7 merchants in 6 months, and we moved to a 650 square meter warehouse. We had to fine-tune our software and platform, and we were really ready only in September 2015 to launch. When we launched in September 2015, our merchants jumped double. We connected to marketplaces, and now, today, our volume is up 300% as compared to the previous year, and we have 200 over merchants and 1,200 square meters. And we're not stopping there. We have just announced that we are going to Malaysia, and in Malaysia by October this year, and in January we will probably be in the Philippines as well. We are open to explore other markets in CLMVT region, and our model is joint venture with local established partners who know the market. So besides growing our physical business, we also grow digitally. Digitally meaning we have platforms now that empowers 250 private post offices across Thailand. Every time someone ships in those post offices, is using our system. So we have this network in place, and we'll be launching a few more interesting and exciting businesses from this network. So I think we'll hand over to Wee, but one takeaway that I would like to leave behind: I never lose. I either win or I learn. So I have failed many times across my 25-year journey in digital, and every time that I fail, it's a new learning. And so far, this latest business is looking to be quite good, and that's because I've had 25 years of learning. So if you want to reach out to me, here's my contact information, and I'll hand you over to Wee, and then we will discuss more later. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adrian. That was a extremely tremendous introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, lovely technicians, my name is V. I've been at Grab now for close to 5 years, so pretty much since Grab started in Thailand. My background was pretty much in the UK, so born and bred in the UK, so you can call me an English person in a Thai person's body, albeit a large Thai person's body. But that's my background, and my background is more in finance, so in investment banking. Pretty much all of my career in the UK. Came to Thailand and stumbled across Grab pretty much about almost close to 5 years ago. So when you talk about Grab, so today, rather than really talk about how Grab kind of like started up and everything like that, it's more about the future of Grab, how we're going to move on in the next 5 years. Well, it's 5 years in Thailand, 6 years overall. So really, with regards to myself, when I first joined Grab, this is what I thought I would do. Slick, fast cars, chauffeur limousines, quite a nice life. And, come on, clicker. Oops, and that spoils it. That's what my family thought I would do. Executive, sitting in the back of a limousine, taking calls. And obviously my friends. Come on, clicker. Come on. There you go. That's what my friends thought I'd do. Promo codes. Free promo codes every day. V, he can give you some really nice promo codes, discounts off my rides. But in fact, what I actually do every day, and there's going to be a delay with the clicker, is pretty much something very, very different, which is this. So basically, going down on the ground, localizing, seeing how it is really. You go to Myanmar, for example, look at trikes, you see flooding. That's how it is at Grab. Yeah, it's not graceful, it's not great. There's a lot that we do, but one thing that's very, very important is actually being down on the ground and actually working up from bottom up. So this is an old photo. You see Anthony, our CEO, in the middle with Huiling, the co-founder. So this was back in early 2016 when Grab hit 1 million rides. It was a fantastic day. We all celebrated. We thought, as a small startup, it was great to get that number. Then I remember the date. It's 26th October 2017. We hit 1 billion rides. We thought, that was absolutely amazing. But really, who would have thought? Only 9 months later, after we hitting our 1 billionth ride, we actually hit 2 billion rides. That was only in July last month. So the accelerated growth has been pretty speedy. Essentially, it's really been down to us really looking down, localizing on the market, localizing, looking at the market, and launching new cities and finding new things to launch, to really cater for what is important, which is improving people's lives. So today, there's over 6 million daily rides per day. There's over 100 million downloads. We now have 6 million micro-entrepreneurs. I'll go more into that later. And now operating in over 220 countries. I think the latest number is 225. I lose count in 8 countries. So pretty much across CLMVT, just no L at the moment. Maybe soon. Okay. And in Thailand, we set up in October 2013, so close to 5 years ago. Now in 16 countries, close to 400 employees now in Thailand. And most recently, we launched in Hua Hin and Buriram. Many of you may have seen the latest launch in Buriram. And there's lots of more opportunities for more micro-entrepreneurs in the future, because our services is not just transport. Obviously, transport was the first venture. So from transport, we've kind of like pivoted from transport more into logistics, so deliveries, also food delivery. We launched GrabFood earlier this year, and most recently into financial services, into lending, and I'll go more into that in a minute, and obviously into the wallet and GrabPay. And I've got problems with my clicker again. Okay, so this is the evolution of Grab. So the first one is probably Grab Taxi back in 5 years ago. We changed that app, from where it was there back then when we first got our funding from Harvard, all the way to most recently when you open up, and it's safe to say that in the future and in the next few months you'll probably see a new app when you open your Grab application. No more will you actually see the map. It'll actually be more, and it's because we're looking to be more of an everyday app, and we like to be Southeast Asia's everyday app. So what does that mean? So if you go back to 6 years ago when we just grabbed taxi, and like I said, back then it was just grab taxi. We looked at our customers, we listened to them very, very, very carefully, and we wanted to localize in every single country. So we saw the requirement for Grab Car and Grab Bike 4 years ago. We did our first venture into Grab Express 3 years ago. We've also Grab Hitch, which is like car sharing. 2 years ago it was GrabFood in Indonesia. In Thailand it was earlier this year. We also launched GrabPay, the fact that you can actually use your credit card. A year ago we launched Grab Rewards, a reward system. Just Grab, basically your quickest, your closest vehicle closest to you. Grab Now, where you don't even have to wait. You see a car, you tap your phone onto the driver's phone, and he'll take you. And earlier this year, Grab Cycle in Singapore and Grab Financial. And throughout all of these, throughout this journey, our pathos of safety, certainty, and improving people's lives has been all the way, has kind of like decided how we, when we launched the entire way, analysing, using intellectual rigour to actually see what is required. If you take Grab Financial, for example, where now I'm leading the financial services side in Thailand, it's about lending to the underbanked, the underserved. We see that if you look at them, speak to our drivers, a lot of them have debts, to knockable outside, to potentially loan sharks, paying 20% per month. How can they improve their lives? How can they expand? How can they grow, with this kind of liability? This is where Grab Financial is coming in to help these individuals. And the way we're doing it is a little bit different to the conventional way. We're looking at data. Obviously, if you look at our drivers, we have all of their data. We know how much their incomes are. We know how they work. So we can actually create a credit scorecard for these drivers and essentially lend to them with the comfort that they're a little bit less risky than how other people perceive them to be. And obviously the brand purpose, like I said, it is about, it's not just transportation, delivery, but now it's into other services. The future of Grab in Southeast Asia is really still to continue to listen to our consumers, and our partners. It's not just drivers, passengers, it's consumers, it's people who use GrabFood, it's people who use the logistics, it's the merchants of GrabFood, it's the merchants who use our logistics products. To be that one-stop, listen to all their complaints, very, very important, and essentially your everyday app. And when you're talking about the everyday app, is also it's like enabling a multimodal transportation future, which is, well, hopefully that's going to be coming sooner, hopefully in other countries than others. So really it's building an ecosystem to connect your users, you know, from transport to food, like I said, to a mobile wallet where it's the ease of, you know, using your wallet, using GrabPay than actually using cash itself. You know, and in all of this, you know, through consumers, driver partners, delivery partners, merchant partners, agents, you know, it's improving their lives. It's making big, meaningful changes. They all have challenges, and we're here to help solve their challenges and touching their everyday life. I've got a short video, and I'll just continue a little bit more, but here's a short video to basically summarize what I've just said.
In just 6 short years, we've evolved from a service that lets you book rides into one that connects multiple areas of your life, so you can commute, eat, make deliveries, and pay seamlessly through one app. This is the future of Grab. Soon, you'll be able to wake up, get ready, and leave your wallet at home. With just your Grab app, you'll have the option to choose rides based on comfort, speed, or budget preferences. The app will automatically mix and match transport options like this. If you're taking an on-demand shuttle bus, public transit, and a car, you'll be able to use your app to book and pay seamlessly for the entire journey. Throughout your day, you'll receive personalized, location-specific rewards like this one. Redeem your breakfast and send the order to the merchant instantly. Then pick it up on your way. Skip the queues and waiting time. Your driver has just arrived. While in transit, you pay your bills directly through the app using GrabPay. And your driver uses his mobile wallet to transfer his daughter's allowance. Before you know it, you've arrived, exactly on time. Your driver completes his trip. He's reached his savings goal. He creates a new goal, and his schedule is automatically updated. It's time for lunch. The roads look a little congested today, so you save time by ordering Grab food instead. In just a few taps, your craving is satisfied. You use the time you saved to buy a dress for this weekend's party. Meanwhile, your driver visits the Grab Driver Center, where a Grab rep greets him by name. He looks over Grab's new earning programs and insurance options. Based on his good credit rating score, he's also offered microfinancing. They're all designed to help him reach his savings and life goals faster. After work, you bump into each other at the retail store. He's shopping for clothes and shoes for his daughter and uses Grab Express to get his packages delivered home. You say your goodbyes. And your driver unplugs his fully charged electric car. This future is in the Grab app you hold in your hands right now. touches every part of your daily life and every segment of society to bring about a better, greener, and more sustainable future for everyone. Welcome to the future of Grab.
Looks good, right? That's the future. That's what we look at. That's what we're looking out for. Hopefully, we can get there. But we're not going to be able to get there alone. Grab needs to collaborate. We need to find good partners to do that, right? We're not saying that we're the best lenders in the world. We're not saying we're the best e-commerce players in the world. We're not saying we're the best anything in the world, right? But we need good partners. So that's why, most recently, only a couple of weeks ago, we've just opened up a platform because we are willing to collaborate. It's not just payments, transport, delivery. There's food, there's a whole load of things. And the way that we're looking to do it is essentially create a platform, a new Grab platform. And for doing it, and this is one of our missions about it, what we say about Grab platform. It amplifies economic values for all users, even more than what we could create for ourselves. It's about getting great partners on our platform. And essentially, if you look at the way we see this platform, hopefully it will create more loyalty, drive more engagement for our users and partners. It's very important to partner with the best. We grow fast and efficiently together, all on the one platform. And together, we really do have the opportunity to fulfill our original mantra. When I joined 5 years ago, it was, and it's still, to improve people's lives, create opportunities for millions, merchants, consumers, drivers, and obviously lift Southeast Asia into a new economic reality. We really see the future of Grab being the future of Southeast Asia. Thank you very much.
We should start discussing some stuff. So
How much time do we have?
Yeah, how much time do we have?
You can have 10, no. I
10
give you
minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay, great.
10 minutes? Okay.
You can, if you
Excellent,
will
excellent,
entertain
excellent.
questions
So, Vee,
from
that
the
is very
floor.
interesting. It's green, very green. Very green.
Thank you.
It reminds me of another green thing in Thailand. Also 4 letters. Grab is 4 letters, and there's another green thing in Thailand with 4 letters. It's called Line. Line also tries to be an everyday app, right? So I think there's going to be a lot of competition in that area from wallet and so on and so forth. But what is interesting from Vee's video was, it came to my mind, Grab didn't invent anything. Grab didn't invent anything. It just innovated. What is the difference between invention and innovation? What is the difference? Invention is creating something new. Innovation is just making it easier to use what's available now. So Grab just made it easy for you to book a ride, to get financing, to even reach financial goals and loyalty. They just innovated. They didn't invent anything. If startups or young people out there are thinking that they need to invent something, then you're wrong. You don't need to invent anything. You just need to innovate. You just need to find that unique point where your service or product can improve people's lives. So that was just something I wanted to share.
No, I think you hit the nail on the spot, really, Adrian. Because if you look at Grab, what attracted me to Grab. My background was always corporate. Throughout all my life, my parents thought I was crazy to come and do what they saw as a taxi company. Why are you going to go and do taxis for? You're from a banking background. What is it? But yes, it was kind of about the tech, but really it was about the actual mantra. When I spoke to the founder and the CEO at the time, it was really about what we're caring about now: safety, security, convenience, and improving people's lives. It was there back then. And that mantra is always there now, and that drives us forward. If you have certain sets of principles, to drive you forward. I think that's what it's. No matter what it is, and exactly what you said, it's not about coming up with new things. Yeah, exactly. It's about, hey, you know, how can we make things better? Disrupt. You know. So actually, what, you know, that word disruption. You know, what's for you? Do you think disruption is a good thing or a bad thing in Asia?
So disrupt for me is to change. Disrupt does not mean destroy. Disrupt does not mean destroy, meaning you don't come in and try to break the chains of everything else. Let's look at Grab, right? 6 years ago, I had opportunity to talk to one of the early management staff of Grab. At that time, it was called My Taxi. So she came from Malaysia, we had lunch, and she said, hey, I'm going to bring My Taxi to Bangkok, where you can use it to book a taxi. And I said, but in Bangkok, it's so easy to get a taxi. You know, you're on the streets, you have so many taxis. In Malaysia, it's very difficult. You have to call. You know, so I didn't think it was going to work. I was wrong. Right? I was very, very, very wrong. I was very, very wrong. So My Taxi is now Grab. But then coming back to the story, now when Grab came into Thailand, did they disrupt or did they destroy the taxi industry? I think they didn't destroy the taxi industry. They worked collaboratively with the taxi industry. They worked collaboratively with the motorcycle taxi, the wind motorcycle. And that is what is the key point of disruption. Changing the way things happen, innovating, but not destroying. Don't think that disruption means you have to destroy. There are a lot of big established businesses in your different sectors, logistics, construction, and so on. You heard from Patai earlier on. He's not destroying those contractors. He's working to bring them into his a group, his solution and his pool. Just like Grab is bringing people into his or their platform, right?
Absolutely. And on top of that, you hit this. Are you sure you're not working at Grab, Adrian?
No.
So I think absolutely, but it's also important to localize, right? It's different in every single country. I think, when you first met, was it Cheryl?
Cheryl.
All those years ago,
yeah.
It was more like, you know, it may not work in Thailand, but it's the value proposition of Grab is different in every single country. If you look at Singapore, it was a supply thing. There's not enough taxis. In Thailand, there's so many taxis, right? So it's a different value proposition. In Philippines, it was the safety issue, similar in Malaysia. In Thailand, it was more about the certainty of the ride. There's so many taxis out there, but I'm sure some distinguished guests have had issues actually negotiating with quite a few taxis, right? So that's where the value proposition is. So every single country, that's why I think localization is a very, very important factor to how we actually grew.
I see the MC looking at us, so that means we have very little time left. So maybe, what would be your one piece of advice for someone who's wanting to work or do a startup?
I think really, Adrian, for me and for my background, it really is to look at things, analyze, but at the same time, and be open. But I think the word that you just put in, right, look at ways to kind of like make things better. Disrupt but not destroy, right? That, for me, that's it. And and seeing that Grab's growing as well, one last message that I like to put out is, we're hiring, guys. Anyone interested in Grab, please, connect up with me. Thank you so much.
When I graduated from the university in Singapore, my parents, they were hoping I would get a job in banking. He had a job in banking, he moved out. My parents wanted me to be in a bank, so I went for one bank interview and I was not really interested at all. And up to now, I think my parents don't know what I do, right? They still don't understand what I'm doing. All they worry about, do I have enough money to feed my children and so on and so forth, but they still don't know what I'm doing, right? So if you are actually working to start something on your own, start a new business, since we need to inspire some young CLMVT guys, I say just do it. Just go out and do it. But before you go out and do it, look at how your product or service will meet the needs of the market. Understand your market. If you work internally, just you and your friends thinking about your great idea, but you don't go out of the door and talk to the people who will use your product, you're not going anywhere, right? The people who will give you money, the people who will actually use your product, be your customer or even your investor, it's outside of the room. You need to go out and look for them. And when you find that right sweet spot, which will take you many different steps to reach, don't be disheartened by failure. I think I call back my slide which says, I never lose, right? It's either I win or I learn, right? So that's it for me. You have anything to add, Ree?
I think
Now we have time? Okay. Now we have time. So what should we talk about? Should we sing?
I know one great song. So I guess just going back, Adrian, one thing that's always come to my mind is, I'm sure throughout your 20-odd years, you've faced many challenges. What would you say is like one of the main challenges that you faced in the early days?
I think in the early days means market readiness was the big problem for us, right? I think Pad Thai shared it earlier on, market readiness as well. Reaching your market, changing your market behavior. So I started building websites in 1996. Were there a lot of internet users? No, right? We started building stuff for mobile phone. I launched a mobile gaming startup in Thailand in the year 2004. Mobile gaming, there was no smartphone yet. We were too early. So one of the biggest challenges was market fit, getting your product to fit the market. And that was the big challenge, and you had to modify that across time. So we failed many times over. Then we failed, hey, don't launch product too early, right? So basically we learned from that, right? I still survived, right? I went through financial difficulty, of course, hard times, of course, very stressed, all kinds of stuff. These are just natural, and you learn from all those things. Now when you have all that additional expertise, since you went through so many different steps, your next step forward is much easier.
That's quite interesting. Actually, from Grab's early days as well, similar challenges. I think even for Thailand, we tried many things. We didn't succeed and failed in many things. But it's about getting up, dusting yourself off and trying again, learning from your failures. Keep on working, keep on iterating. It's not about, you failed and that's it. It's learning, getting up there. To be successful in a startup and meeting a lot of people in startups, I'm sure they all say the same things. You learn from your mistakes, and that's definitely one. And another one, not that I'm sounding like a broken record, but it's finding the right people. I think finding the right people in the early days was exceptionally hard when you don't have a name and you're a startup. But even now, when you're more established, like now with Grab and Grab Financial Services, we really are looking for exceptional people as well. And still, that's still a challenge. I guess it's a challenge all the time.
Okay, good. So there are two more guys, or a guy and a girl, sorry, who will be coming up, and I think they have a lot more interesting stories to share. So we should not take too much of our time on stage there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much. Wow, this was wonderful. I was staring at you right here, not to pressure you, but it's very interesting topic that you're talking together. So right now, please remain on stage because we have some special souvenir to give to our distinguished speakers. Thank you very much for your time once again. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause. Thank you very much to cherish your experiences and achievement. And also, next we are going to continue with the last duet session. Please, I would like to request for a photo